Hi guys, welcome back to Minimalism with Michelle. Like many of you, I was having a full-time nanny living in with us for a long while in the past, and it was one of the best decisions that I've made because it gave me a lot of flexibility and freedom to still be doing things that I like to do while taking care of my two young toddlers. However, every decision would have pros and cons, and having a nanny would not be an exception. So let's agree that I am a big advocate of having a nanny when we need to, but we all should discuss about what kind of mindset we have to instill on the scope of services we can delegate to the nanny. So let's start. So first, let's talk about the benefits, the pros. Number one, definitely our children would have more care, right? Because now we have a caregiver at home, especially when the mother has to get back to work after a long maternity leave. We are much more assured and comfortable knowing that there will be someone full-time at home taking care of our children for us to rejoin the workforce. But given the lack of trust at times, besides having a nanny at home, many families are also introducing cameras or having the supervision of grandparents to be double sure, right? Because we have read on news that caregivers are maltreating the children or the babies. So for me, I was living with my in-laws, so there is supervision from the grandmother and also the grandfathers at home. But trust me, it will also add on the complication, as in who ultimately is giving the instruction or the way that you should take care of the children around the house. But it depends on your situation. There's no right or wrong. Benefit number two, definitely more flexibility to the parents. With extra help, I could still maintain the habits that I was having. For example, I could still heading out for the runs early in the morning, or at times, me and my husband, we could still afford to go out for dinners and also to meet up with close friends. These relationship enhancing opportunities actually keep the mother more relaxed and energized to continue with this long-term journey of giving parenting to the children. Benefit number three, there will be more peace around the house. So you will be curious why I am saying so. The woman in the house, being the main caregiver to young babies, when getting back to work, there will be a lot of stress because now she has to juggle different roles at a time. And if there's no feeling of being shared with her life partner, she can get stressed easily, and that means the couples will enter into arguments more often than necessary. So nannies in other countries may be limited in terms of scope of service, where you are mainly giving care to young babies. But here in Vietnam, nannies can also taking the task of cleaning up the house, cooking, house chores, etc. It depends on the compensation package between the two sides. So with this super help, in additional, the couples will be in a more relaxing mood instead of stressing out to get everything done. So that's what I meant. So benefit number four, the commercial benefits outweighs the cost. In Vietnam, hiring a nanny doesn't cost you as much as many other countries, given the income level. So with this extra time created for the parents, where we can get more things done at work or for your own businesses, in case you have your own businesses, definitely you would have more income gain versus the cost that you have to pay for the nanny. So how about the disadvantages of having a nanny, the cons? Number one, having a nanny is not very ideal for parenting, especially when the kids are growing up. Nannies are not trained to be educators to our young children, and we have to be fair, right? We ourselves are not trained either, unless that's your own expertise. But at least we have our children's best interest in mind. So we need to form an idea of what parenting style we want to adopt, because children needs consistency, right? To perfect their personality over time. And as parents, we have to take lead of this parenting task. No excuses. Cons number two, there's no privacy, right? With a full-time live-in nanny, you would hardly have any privacy. So it depends, and you would have to decide on what the arrangement to be to make this feasible. while taking kids down to the playground, I have overheard a lot of personal stories of families in the apartment area that I live. And to be honest, I don't want my stories to be discussed in public like that. So that is one of the factors that you have to think about. The third disadvantage is quite impactful in case you have a dishonest nanny, right? It not only affects the security of our children, but also the living conditions in the house. I have gone through nannies who are not being honest, telling me one thing, but then telling other family members another thing. And that creates messiness in the house. So like I said, I had a nanny for 5 years since my elder son was born and until my younger daughter was up until 3 or 4. And I must say I was so lucky to have one of the best nannies that I've known of. She is honest, she is organized, she loves the children, and she's very clear when it comes to money, and also she has high self-esteem. So I would say I learned a lot from her too, and it was very great time collaborating with her in raising up my 2 toddlers. But since they are growing up and also we're moving out of in-laws, I find that there is no more need to have a nanny full-time living in with us. And coupling up with the COVID lockdown, where our part-time helper couldn't come over during that 3-4 months straight, now everybody in the house, me, my husband, my 2 children, we are masters of house chores. We are masters of work aggregation, and we all feel very proud for being a true contributor to make this house better and better every day. So now my eldest son being 9 or 10, coming to 10, and my younger daughter coming to 8, they are all able to do self-help activities. For example, now I'm getting back to work 50% of the times. So the remaining 50%, the kids will have to be home alone. They will have to take care of their own online classes schedules. They would be feeding themselves in case they are getting hungry. At times, I will ask them to go down to the shippers area to collect some food or some things, right, that are being delivered. And to be honest, they are growing every day, and I must say I'm very proud of them. And we could only achieve all this because there is no other choice. So this is my advice to you. I know having a nanny is like a comfort zone, right? And because it's not too expensive as well, so it's really hard for us to know when to stop. But it worth all the effort and the extra time, sweat and tear you're putting into keeping the house clean and tidy all the times. But in exchange, you yourself will also grow up. You'll be more responsible around the house, and then your kids definitely will have more opportunities to grow up as well. So having a nanny or not having a nanny is a choice, right? So let's use that choice wisely. All the best.